I thought I could. But I'm sort of obsessed with it. Yeah, I want to prove.
And these pronouns. What the pronouns? He, she, him, they, the, boom, bang, ba, bang, cool. You know what my pronoun is?
Well, I think there's an issue that people aren't talking about. Marriage. There's a lot of things that they beat around the bush with. My beef, I'm a libertarian.
Hollywood has been using every possible method to push woke ideology onto the younger generation. However, a few stars have actively resisted this trend. Sylvester Stallone and Kurt Russell have been fighting this uphill battle since the 90s, and it's a real thorn in the side of Hollywood's elites. These household names have held tightly to their Christian values, refusing to bend to the pressures of the pronoun and alphabet mafia. Their immunity to this wave of political correctness is no joke, and it reflects in their loyal fan base. Rumors are swirling that higher-ups are gearing up to cancel both of these legends once and for all, but the duo is a force to be reckoned with. Sylvester Stallone, in particular, has been swimming against Hollywood's current for decades. While navigating the sharp waters of woke culture, Stallone has built an ironclad wall of values that he refuses to let go of. If you take a closer look at his work, it's clear that he's produced one hit after another while portraying strong family values. Values that seem to have long been lost in today's entertainment industry, where the alphabet wave now reigns supreme. But as expected, his journey hasn't been smooth. Nevertheless, Stallone has stood firm in his beliefs. You may have noticed that most of the characters Stallone has portrayed are strong individuals with integrity. Just last year, it was revealed that Stallone had to fight tooth and nail to continue putting out that kind of content. In recent years, more and more celebrities have been speaking up about the pressure from Hollywood to align with the elitist agenda, particularly with regard to the LGBTQ+ community. Most have fed into it, cashing in on the benefits of playing along with the underlying agenda. But Stallone has been different. Sources claim that the financial backers of Stallone's films have tried to push him to include more woke content, including more diverse sexual orientations. When Stallone couldn't take the pressure any longer, he decided to go public with the struggles he'd been facing behind the scenes. He accused Hollywood's moneymen of trying to force a political agenda into his work, an agenda he didn't agree with. Stallone made it clear that he was against the push for politically correct content, saying that it had no place in the action genre and only sought to please a noisy minority while alienating the silent majority. Now, before you rush to label Stallone as a Democrat or Republican, it's important to note that he's always focused on core America. Long before he even understood what each party stood for, the majority of Stallone's career is a testament to his beliefs. In an interview with Sunday Time, Stallone read first-grade Rocky D6. I didn't even know what a Republican or a Democrat was until I was Stallone. I didn't know wrapping my flag in Rocky would throw down. Fans often try to label their and Stallone told Variety Republican simply because he's patriotic like Rocky and John Ray. However, he explained that he grew up in a politically agnostic household, even admitted that Stallone has back at Tulsa.
What the pronouns? He, she, him, they, the, boom, bang, ba, bang, cool. You know what my pronoun is?
Soon, the backlash against Sylvester Stallone began making headlines. People were trying to cancel him, but since Tulsa King was doing great business online, the Twitter mob set their sights on him, spreading rumors about a supposedly toxic work environment on set. It's a classic tactic. When the higher-ups want to undermine a film's impact, they attempt to taint it with inappropriate workplace scandals. Unfortunately, this is exactly what happened to Sylvester. The storm began when someone tweeted, "Got this disturbing news from my Atlanta friend who worked in the background on Tulsa King this week. The casting agent quit because she was so disgusted. My friend is feeling anxious about working now. Sylvester Stallone, what do you have to say for yourself, sir?" Beyond disappointed, I'm livid. He and the director called certain people terrible names and laughed at them. Sylvester said, "Bring in pretty young girls to be around me." Despite the growing backlash, Stallone didn't fall into the trap. Instead of fueling the fire, he posted a calm, neutral remark saying, "This was a very long, difficult, exciting, mind-blowing production that has just ended in Oklahoma. Though it was a long time to be away, it was worth it to work with such fantastic talent both in front of and behind the camera." By remaining composed, Stallone effectively diffused the situation. However, Stallone's opposition to Hollywood's woke agenda didn't stop at mere words. He openly rejected several movie offers that were loaded with woke ideologies, despite the big paychecks that came with them. Just recently, the man who taught us all to stand up for what's right in the boxing ring turned down an astonishing $500 million offer from Disney. His reason? He's had enough of the woke nonsense. While some people might see this as a missed opportunity, others can't help but wonder if Stallone is just trying to dodge another political trap. Stallone himself said, "I've fought Russians, trained fighters, and even climbed mountains in my movie, but this is where I draw the line." The public stood firmly behind Stallone's decision. One supporter commented, "Stallone got his start by standing up to Hollywood producers who wanted to buy the script for Rocky, but didn't want Stallone to star in it. He said no, insisting he would star in Rocky or not sell the. He stood firm and got what he." Fortunately, Stallone isn't alone in his fight against Kurt. Whether or not you agree with Russell's stance, it's important to understand that he was simply sharing his opinion. However, it quickly became clear that this interview was an attempt to drag him into a political debate. When you think about it, Russell wasn't prepared for such a loaded question. He was there for an entertainment interview, not a political discussion. Yet, he handled the situation as best as he could. In contrast to the interviewer's pro-gun control stance, Russell eventually ended the heated conversation by saying, "You and I just disagree. I understand that you think you can control the behavior of people who are dead set on taking your way of life away from you. You think you can control that. But there's only one thing you can do with that, and that's to say, no, dude, that's not going to happen." Russell later clarified his position, tempering his response and leaving room for others to disagree. In reality, when we're dealing with things like terrorism, we're all going to have different opinions on how to handle it, and that's okay. Russell's stance reflects a broader resistance to Hollywood's efforts to control the narrative. Like Stallone, he refuses to be swayed by the pressures of woke culture. Instead, both stars continue to fight for their right to express their opinions, even when it means facing backlash from those who disagree. In a world where the entertainment industry is increasingly driven by political agendas, Stallone and Russell stand as reminders that there are still voices willing to challenge the status quo. Kurt Russell reflected on the growing and expressing disappointment couldn't remain civil. "I just leave it open for interpretation for all different and say, we're all in this together." However, the media didn't list sentiment. Soon after, he was asked in the ABC daytime. This time, Russell took, explaining that he had been pushed by a repressed tour. "Sometimes you get what is a slight, and that's sort of what happened to Russell. The thing I like, or actor, it's just something I can't." The actor. As this false news continued to gain traction, so did the rumors of Russell's cancellation. Apparently, Kurt Russell was planning to retire from filmmaking altogether because Hollywood would no longer employ him after this perceived affront to their woke agenda. Amidst all the chaos, one fan posted, "Congrats on a long, storied career. Used Cars is one of my all-time favorite silly movies. I give Kurt all the support in this time of need." Amid these rumors, Sylvester Stallone also backed Russell's beliefs. Despite portraying a gun-toting soldier in the Rambo series, Stallone has always taken a more balanced stance on firearm regulation. In 2017, the Daily Beast described Stallone as one of the most anti-firearm celebrities in Hollywood. He told the Sunday Times, "They can't take firearms away, but I believe they can be managed more responsibly. I don't see a purpose in hunting with a 40-round magazine. If you can't hit something in 5 shots, then you're not a very good hunter. To be able to buy a weapon that I can change to automatic in 1 second, I don't see it." Stallone elaborated, saying, "You can't take firearms away. They've been ingrained in American culture for 250 years, but you have to take the irresponsibility out of it." For longtime fans of Kurt Russell, this controversy was unexpected, as Russell had always vowed to keep politics out of his career. Throughout his time in Hollywood, Russell consistently portrayed his beliefs on screen without speaking out on political topics in interviews or social media. Once, Russell stated that Hollywood stars should avoid wading into political discussions publicly, as doing so only hurts their craft. Accompanied by his longtime partner Goldie Hawn for a co-feature in the New York Times, the iconic actor made his views clear. Hollywood and politics simply do not mix. "I've always been someone who felt we are court jesters. That's what we do. As far as I'm concerned, you should step away from saying anything political so that you can still be seen by the audience in any character. There's no reason entertainers can't learn just as much as anybody else about a subject, whatever it is. But I think what's sad about it is that they lose their status as a court jester. And I'm a court jester. That's what I was born to do. Russell went on to explain the vital role that court jesters have played throughout history. A court jester is the only one who can walk into the castle and put the king down, as long as he doesn't hit too close to home. I think that's been a big, important part of all cultures throughout history, and I'd like to see it stay in ours. At that time, Russell even pointed out the decline of authentic movie stars, and fans believe that by making this statement, Russell was subtly calling out Hollywood for grooming a generation of actors who serve an agenda rather than their craft. We're all trying to figure out what Russell's. When you look at how AD has only so much, and when you see that big, there's nothing like it. It makes me very melancholy. Russell's reflections reveal a deep concern for the future of the entertainment industry, particularly as it becomes more focused on politics rather than pure storytelling. He and Stallone continue to stand firm, representing a dwindling group of Hollywood figures who still believe in creating art that speaks for itself, without the influence of external agendas. Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn have become the standard for committed couples who choose not to get married. However, the idea has crossed their minds. Industry whispers suggest that Kurt lost faith in marriage after gay marriage became legalized in the country. When asked about his marital status, he said, "I've been with my girl for 40 years. It's come up in conversation, whereas it never used to. We had both been married, we had both done that, and you know what? We've lived our life. We've had our family. Our family continues to grow. It's fantastic." Both Hawn and Russell have been candid about their decision not to marry over the years. In 2007, Hawn told Woman's Day that the couple has done just fine without tying the knot. "I already feel devoted, and isn't that what marriage is supposed to do? So long as my emotional state is in a state of devotion, honesty, caring, and loving, then we're fine," she shared. At the time, she also mentioned that both she and Russell wanted to maintain independent finances. If you have independence, if you have enough money and enough sense of independence, and you like your independence, there's something psychological about not being married. It gives you the freedom to make decisions one way or so. For me, I chose to stay, and Kurt chose. They're making their marital status less significant. Somebody actually has to take a look and say, how many divorces are fun? How many divorces don't cost money? How many divorces don't make you hate the person more than you did before? How many divorces hurt children? We've raised our children brilliantly. They're beautiful people. We did a great job, and we didn't need to get married to do that. I like waking up every day and seeing that he's there, knowing that I have a choice. There's really no reason to marry. The two actors first met while filming Disney's 1968 live-action movie musical, The One and Only, genuine original family band. But it wasn't until 15 years later that romance sparked between them. Despite their nearly 6-year age difference and a shared determination not to date other actors, Russell made a strong first impression on Hawn. "I was 21 and he was 16. I thought he was adorable, but he was much too young," Hawn recalled. "Years later, we met again, and I liked him. I remembered that I liked him very much when I first met him. But we both said we would never go out with another actor, so it just shows you never can tell." That's all for today. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and stay tuned for more content just like this.